Why does every headline feel like the end of the world? Why do the most dramatic stories seem to spread the fastest, while other important news stories never even get mentioned? This is because the modern news cycle wasn't designed simply to inform you, but to keep you watching. Every headline and breaking story is part of a system that was designed to capture and monetize your attention 24 hours a day. This is why balanced reporting often disappears. And once you see how the system really works and what the incentives really are, the way news gets presented starts to make a lot more sense. One of the most important aspects of the news cycle system to recognize is that it prioritizes speed over depth and accuracy. The faster a story is published, the more attention it attracts, and news organizations are incentivized to always be the first one to report on a new story. These organizations measure their success in clicks, views, and engagement, and often rely on social media to amplify and spread stories. Errors in the reporting are usually overlooked as long as the story is spreading fast, because being first means appearing first in search engines, generating more ad revenue, and attracting more viewers. In this system, being first is profitable, while being accurate takes time and risks losing viewer attention. This system is also structured to feed off of your emotions. Stories that make you feel anger, fear, or shock naturally draw in more viewers and engagement, while ordinary or positive stories rarely ever spread or attract the same number of viewers. Dramatic stories lead to the most clicks, shares, and engagement, which leads to the most revenue. The result of this is the stories that provoke the most emotion end up being amplified and repeated, and even minor events get repackaged as urgent crises to get the most viewers to tune in. This is why we constantly see the same stories being repeated, while other important stories never get covered. Another important element of this system is how stories are stretched over time. News organizations need to provide 24/7 coverage and are under constant pressure to keep putting out content for viewers at all hours of the day. This often leads to stories being broken up into multiple reports and updates for days and sometimes even weeks, even if nothing new really changes or gets discovered. A single event can create dozens of headlines, and news organizations are incentivized to keep stories circulating for as long as possible. The news system is incentivized to provide speed over accuracy, to provoke emotion in its stories, and to stretch stories for as long as possible to keep content coming out 24/7, and the result of this is a news environment that feels constant, urgent, and always emotionally intense. For much of the audience, this can lead to feelings of anxiety, paranoia, and anger, as it creates a feeling that major events are occurring all the time, even when a story hasn't changed much since its initial reporting, or the initial story itself wasn't all that dramatic or important. This doesn't mean that all the information being reported on is necessarily false. It just means that the way it's delivered is shaped by a system designed to compete for and to monetize attention. When you look at the news cycle as a system, you're quickly able to see the incentives that shape what we see every day. And by understanding these incentives, you can begin to approach media more intentionally and focus on the parts of the stories that matter instead of the parts designed to maximize attention. And when you do that, you gain the ability to consume news on your own terms rather than letting the system dictate how you consume it. If you want to go deeper into systems like this, I put together a free beginner's guide to modern systems. It breaks down what a system is, as well as a few prominent modern systems in a simple way, and is a great place to start if you're wanting to start better understanding systems. You can download it using the link in the description that will also add you to my email list, where I'll be sharing new system breakdowns, updates, and resources as they come out. This guide is completely free and was designed with the intention of helping you learn these concepts so you can start applying them to your own work.